Howdy, y'all. This is Proverbs 17 in the NIRV for October 17, 2023. It's better to eat a dry crust of bread in peace and quiet than to eat a big dinner in a house full of fighting. A wise servant will rule over a shameful child. He will be given part of the property as if he were a family member. Fire tests silver and heat tests gold, but the Lord tests our hearts. Evil people listen to lies. Lying people listen to evil. Anyone who laughs at those who are poor makes fun of their maker. Anyone who's happy when others suffer will be punished. Grandchildren are like a crown to older people, and children are proud of their parents. Fancy words don't belong in the mouth of ungodly fools, and lies certainly don't belong in the mouths of rulers. Those who give money think it will buy them favors. They think that no matter where they turn, they will succeed. Whoever wants to show love forgives a wrong, but those who talk about it separate close friends. A person who understands what is right learns more from a just warning than a foolish person learns from 100 strokes with a whip. An evil person tries to keep others from obeying God. The messenger of death will be sent against them. It's better to meet a bear whose cubs have been stolen than to meet a foolish person who's acting foolishly. Evil will never leave the house of anyone who pays back evil for good. Starting to argue is like making a crack in a dam, so drop the matter before a fight breaks out. The Lord hates two things. He hates it when the guilty are set free. He also hates it when those who aren't guilty are punished. Why would a foolish person try to buy wisdom? They're not even able to understand it. A friend loves at all times. They are there to help when trouble comes. A person who has no sense agrees to pay what other people owe. It isn't wise to promise to pay other people's bills. The one who loves to argue loves to sin. The one who builds a high gate is just asking to be destroyed. If your heart is twisted, you won't succeed. If your tongue tells lies, you will get into trouble. It is sad to have a foolish child. The parents of a godless fool have no joy. A cheerful heart makes you healthy, but a broken spirit dries you up. Anyone who does wrong accepts favors in secret. Then they turn what is right into what is wrong. Anyone who understands what is right keeps wisdom in view, but the eyes of a foolish person look everywhere else. A foolish child makes his father sad and his mother sorry. It isn't good to find those who aren't guilty, so it certainly isn't good to whip officials just because they're honest. Anyone who has knowledge controls their words. Anyone who has understanding is not easily upset. We think even foolish people are wise if they keep silent. We think they understand what is right if they control their tongues. Long day. I woke up to find the lady moving through the house and coming home from work, but she didn't say hello or greet me first, so I just kind of stirred and was ready to send an Xbox controller her way. I had knocked out on the couch with the kid waiting on her, with the babe. But truly, better to eat a dry crust of bread in peace and quiet than eat a big dinner in a house full of fighting. I think that's plain enough. I can't say that any better, but it's absolutely true. You know, better to eat a sandwich in peace, alone, than it is to have a feast and have to deal with nonsense. The Lord tests our hearts. In another chapter, it talks about, don't let your mouth praise you, let somebody else praise you. And then later in that chapter, it says that praise tests our hearts, or praise, how does it put it? Essentially, how we deal with praise shows how our heart is, because we should be humble. It's okay to accept praise. It's not okay to be praising ourselves. Anyone who's happy when others suffer will be punished. Man, I feel like we're in a mocking culture, and so many of us, like, it's one thing to watch, like, a clip of somebody, let's just say, falling, you know what I mean, like America's Funniest Home Video style, like, ha ha ha, that sucks, because we've all been there. But when somebody's truly hurt or upset or in a situation we can laugh at them, that is not a good look. That's not a good condition of our heart. Lies don't belong in the mouths of rulers, just like fancy words don't belong in the mouths of ungodly fools. If you want to show love, forgive a wrong. Because if you talk about it, you separate close friends. If you rehash an embarrassing or a negative event, then surely you can split friends apart, turn people away from each other, make somebody look poor. Right? Just forgive and cover the matter. We all screw up. A wise person can learn more from a warning than a fool does from 100 lashes from a whip. Yeah, when our posture is right, our heart posture, we can easily be directed and corrected, right? But when we have a hard heart, stubborn mind, you get all kinds of lashes, and all it'll do is make us even harder. The messenger of death will be sent against an evil person trying to keep others from obeying God. Is that metaphorical? Is that just like the wages of sin is death? Or is that when you cross a line from trying to keep people from worshiping God, God gets upset and will take you out the game, right? Don't want to find out. The symmetry in this chapter, it's like the Lord hates this, likes that, likes this, hates that. Hates it when the guilty are set free, hates it when those who aren't guilty are punished, right? Because the Lord is just. Why would a foolish person try to buy wisdom? They can't even understand it. It says something about the nature of man, right? The one who builds a high gate is just asking for it to be destroyed. There's something to be said about the nature of man, right? When somebody does really well or sets something up, there can be a line where it's like, who do they think they are? And they'll suffer for it because people will vandalize it or try to rob them. It is sad to have a foolish child. I pray that I don't ever find out what that's like, trying to raise my boys in the fear of the Lord. And the promise is that when they're old, they won't depart from that. And again, someone who's right keeps wisdom in view. Somebody who's wrong is trying to bribe everybody to cover up their wrongdoing. We're supposed to be keeping justice and supporting those who do that, right? It's not good to find those who aren't guilty, and it's not good to whip those officials just because they're honest. So if a judge is just and says things that are correct, even if they're upsetting, we shouldn't be taking them to task for that. We should be supporting those people. These last two This is what's hitting on me today, man. Anyone who has knowledge controls their words. Anyone who has understanding is not easily upset. I'm really working on those two pieces, especially with my kiddos. I love them so much, and it's almost like still adjusting to having kids, right? Because they're not your peers, so you got to watch how you speak to them on several levels, and it's not trivial. Especially, I mean, it's just a matter of fact that's how it is, but working on myself, trying to find the Lord, I'm not always great at saying the things that need to be said or keeping my tongue when it should be kept. Moreover, I'm trying to judge my reactions. Not everything that happens needs a response. Sometimes mistakes are mistakes. Mistakes are not sins. Sins need a response. Not everything. And we think foolish people are wise even if they keep silent, and we think they understand what is right if they control their tongues. Moral of the story, just control your tongue. Shh. Just keep quiet and listen.